Hey, what's up, guys? Another week, another battle, and today we got for you a battle against a all-bug team, which is pretty cool. I really appreciate that from my opponent there, running the all-bug team. Maybe I'll do something like that someday, but this is a pretty different kind of match at the beginning. All of these, or not all of these, but a lot of these Pokemon have really good matchups against mine. It's kind of tough to be switching in and switching out on certain Pokemon, so I'm going to have to make certain predictions or not make predictions and work my way around those certain matchups. But let's jump right in, guys. Let's see how it turns out. So my opponent here is going to be leading off with the Araquanid, as I'm going to be leading off with my Nidoqueen. So I sent Nidoqueen out here first. I've been leading out with her most of these battles that I've brought her that I've posted, you guys have seen. Just set up the Toxic Spikes. I think before I had Stealth Rocks, but now I got Toxic Spikes on Nidoqueen. But Nidoqueen does not like water type moves, and this Araquanid probably has Aqua Jet. And Nidoqueen's looking really useful in the matchup, so we're going to have to be switching around. I brought a Cradilly with, what's it called, Storm Drain, to be able to soak up those water type moves. So we're going to be swapping out into Cradilly here, hoping they go for the water move. And they do go for the water move. They go for the Liquidation, and they actually also swap here with the Scissors. So that's going to let me get the free Stealth Rocks up after the Storm Drain, which is great. Bugs hate Stealth Rocks. This is going to be great for the matchup later on. But now we have to deal with this Scizor here. And Cradilly, I kind of want to save it for later for that Araquanid. The Storm Drain is really useful. So I'm going to swap out and send in Milk Tank here, which is my defensive wall. But this actually looks like a supportive Scizor, not a really offensive one. It's got Defog, so he gets rid of my Stealth Rocks there, which kind of sucks. And now this isn't a great matchup for Miltank, but I'm just going to go for the Body Slam. Hopefully I can get a paralysis on the Scizor. But he's actually going to switch out here and head to the Vikavolt. So this Vikavolt's going to get Body Slammed by this big-ass cow. And not only is the damage not great, but we actually get hurt by the Rocky Helmet almost as much as we hurt them with the Body Slam. So that really sucks. I think we're going to have to switch out Miltank here. So after looking over my team, there was nothing that I really wanted to take a hit from this thing. I know it has Energy Ball. It probably has an Electric type move and probably has a Flying type move. And my team is allergic to all of those. So we're going to stay with Miltank, go for the Body Slam. Hopefully get a crit. You know, we can Milk Drink so we can get some health back. They do go for the Energy Ball, so it's good that we see they have that. It does pretty decent damage, which makes sense because Miltank is a physically defensive wall, not special defensive. But like I said, we're going to stay in. This time we're going to go for the Milk Drink to get our health back and see what they want to do, whether they want to switch out and go for something else or stay in with the Vikavolt. And after we get our health back with the Milk Drink, my opponent here is actually going for the Volt Switch, so they show they have the Volt Switch there. And they're going to be swapping into their Araquanid again. And this time on the Araquanid, instead of swapping out into the Cradilly for the Storm Drain, I'm going to predict that they're going to go for a different move here. And I'm going to stay in and go for the Body Slam. And hopefully get, like I said, a paralysis on this Araquanid. So this pink cow is going to jump super high and land on top of this bug thing. And it's actually going to paralyze it, which is great. We slow that thing down a little bit, not that it's that fast. But I actually go for the Toxic here, which isn't too bad. I actually run Heal Bell on this defensive Miltank. So it's actually great. We can just go for the Heal Bell and heal that poison off really easily. So after the poison damage and the leftovers and that Volt Switch, Miltank's in a pretty good spot. Not too bad. So after this turn here, we're actually going to go for the Milk Drink. Actually, on this turn, we're going to go for the Milk Drink. And my opponent's actually going to swap out here, go back into the Vikavolt. So we get the free Heal Bell and get that poison off and some leftover recovery. But then we got to face this Vikavolt again. And then after this Heal Bell, I decided that I want to do something a little different. My only Pokemon that could take a special type move from this thing really well and do damage back is going to be my Hitmontop. It's got pretty good base special defense. So we're going to be switching out the Hitmontop here. On the swap, my opponent's actually going to go for a Roost, which is great. So we get the free swap. They get their health back, but we didn't have that much damage on them anyway, so didn't really mind the Roost. So I know I can live at least one hit from any move this Vikavolt's got, probably. So I'm going to start setting up and go for the Bulk Up, and then I can outspeed and hit some hard with either a Mach Punch here. Actually, it's going to have to be Mach Punch because this Vikavolt's probably got Levitate and Earthquake won't do any damage. So we go with the Bulk Up. They actually go for the Volt Switch here, which kind of sucks. I'm going to swap in a different Pokemon, and that Pokemon's going to be Volcarona, which is not good at all. I am 100% sure that this Volcarona is going to have something that can take out the Hitmontop in one shot, but there's nothing I want to switch into, so we're just going to let Hitmontop take the hit and get the free swap in on the Volcarona finally. So on the free swap, we're going to be sending out Cramorant, and now we finally have a good matchup where we can do some damage. So I know that the Araquanids can sometimes have Water Absorb, so I'm going to be going for the Hurricane here just in case he swaps out. Does end up swapping out, but instead of going to the Araquanid, he actually goes into the Vikavolt, which is interesting. So This thing's going to take a Hurricane from a Cramorant, and it's going to do over half damage. That's great. 2-hit KO here. I know that this Vigable has Volt Switch, and I can easily take out my Cramorant here, but we're just going to go for the Hurricane and hope it doesn't miss so we can take out this Vigavolt. So here comes the Hurricane, and it does end up landing, so we do take out the Vigavolt. And I think that is our first KO of the match, besides him on top on our side, which is great. My opponent's next Pokemon is going to be a Vespiquen, which is really cool. I haven't really faced the Vespiquen online. I don't really know what they want to do, but we're just going for the Ice Beam here and hope this does plenty of damage. And it ends up doing over half. So it's going to be a 2-hit KO on the Vespiquen here, as they have one for the Tailwind, which is interesting. I guess their team is really slow, so some Tailwind support would be really helpful for them. But on this next one, we're just going to click Ice Beam again. I don't think he's going to swap out to anything, so we just killed this Vespiquen. But now they're going to go for the Destiny Bond, which really sucks because this Cramorant looked really useful, and they had a Focus Sash. And now that Focus Sash doesn't matter because it's just going to go down to the Destiny Bond here. So it's going to be a double KO. So now we got the empty battlefield, and I'm going to decide to lead off with my Nidoqueen again, just like how I led off the match. And my opponent's actually going to be sending out the Centiskorch this time. And this matchup actually doesn't look too bad for us, so we're going to be just going for a Sludge Wave here, and going for as much damage as possible. A Sheer Force Sludge Wave with Life Orb with Stab is going to do pretty good damage here on anything that switches in, or if this Centiskorch stays in. My opponent here actually is going to outspeed me and go for the knockoff, which really sucks because it gets rid of my Life Orb, and that's going to be nerfing my Nidoqueen here a little bit. And as you'll see, the Sludge Wave doesn't do that much damage. But since I don't think this thing's got anything to hit me with, I'm just going to keep staying in and keep going for the Sludge Wave, and hopefully take out this Centiskorch soon. But it looks like we're going to have to wait on taking out that Centiskorch, because my opponent's going to be swapping out into the Volcarona. And this Volcarona actually takes a lot of damage from the Sludge Wave, so I feel like that Centiskorch is more of a bulkier Centiskorch. But it's going to be a 2-hit KO on this Volcarona, and this is where I decided to go for a big play. Now that they have the Tailwind gone, I don't know if that helped them or not, but the Tailwind's gone, I'm going to decide to Dynamax here. Hopefully live a hit or two, and then take out this Volcarona, because this Volcarona's been a huge problem for Swiftens on my team. So we're going to be going for the Max Ooze, which raises our special attack too, which is useful after we lost our Life Orb. My opponent is going to outspeed, go for the Overheat, and we lived that really well in Dynamax. I think if we weren't in Dynamax, we probably would have been taken out. But we live it, and we go for the Sludge Wave on the Sludge Wave. The Max Ooze here off the Sludge Wave, and this Volcarona is actually going to live, which is kind of confusing. I must have gotten a max roll on the first hit, and then a minimum roll on this last hit, because it did over half last time, which is really weird. But we raise our attack, and now the question is, do we live another Overheat? So here comes the next Overheat, and we're going to end up living it on 2 HP. That -2 drop on the last Overheat really affected them really badly. So we get the Max Ooze off after going down to 2 health, and we take out the Volcarona, which is a huge win for us. After that Volcarona, and after that special attack increase, doesn't really matter. My opponent is going to be swapping into the Scizor here, which I assume means they have the Bullet Punch. They would have outsped me anyway, but I'm just going for the Max Guard to see if they do go for the Bullet Punch, and then we'll just let Nidoqueen die here. So they do end up showing that they have the Bullet Punch here, which kind of sucks because my bulkier Pokemon are gone, and my Focus Sash Pokemon are gone, so I'm going to have something live a hit from this speedy Scizor and then take it out afterwards. But they're going to go for another Bullet Punch, and that's going to be taking out Nidoqueen. But again, she's been doing great. She lived on 2 HP this match. She's been living on little HP on the last couple matches and coming in clutch, so great job, Nidoqueen. But now, it's time for the real MVP of the match, my new Charizard. This is a Charizard that's debuting, and it's going to be a bulky, physical attacking Charizard here. And this Charizard is actually the last Pokemon I have that can do any meaningful damage to the team till we win. The other two Pokemon I have are my defensive walls, Credit and Milk Tank, and they really do no damage. So, all we can do here is just start setting up and see if we can get a late game sweep with the Charizard. So now we have +4 in attack after those 2 Sword Dances, and my opponent realizes they can't do enough damage. So they're going to be swapping out, going for the U-turn, and they're going to be sending out, like I thought they would, the Araquanid here. And just so I could deal with these Water-type Pokemon, I have brought a Thunder Punch on this Charizard. And after that +4, a Thunder Punch to an Araquanid is easily going to be taking it out in one shot. So we got that sweep going, guys. 2 more to go. And next, coming back into the match, is going to be that Scizor. And I can easily take the Scizor out with the Flare Blitz, but I don't want to be taking too much recoil damage because, like I said, this is my last Pokemon that can do any meaningful damage, and they have one more Pokemon on the back, so I'm going to go for the Thunder Punch here just in case they decide to swap something out. But they actually go for the Dynamax Scizor here, which kind of sucks because if I do go for the Flare Blitz now, I'm going to be taking a hella recoil, so I'm kind of glad I went for the Thunder Punch and actually outspeed here. This Charizard has no EVs invested, and I think it's Animate Nature, so it's got no investment in speed, and somehow I still outspeed this Scizor. That Thunder Punch doesn't do too much damage even after the +4, as they go for the Max Flutterby, which actually doesn't do too much damage either, because this is a bulky Max HP Charizard. My special attack does drop, but like I said, this is a physical Charizard, so we don't really mind. They get some leftovers here, and now I'm kind of in a tough spot. I can go for the Sword Dance and get to the +6 attack, or just go for the Thunder Punch or Flare Blitz. But I decided to go for the Thunder Punch to get some damage off. I don't want to go for that Flare Blitz, and I don't think a Sword Dance is necessary. They go for Max Guard, and they don't take any damage, and they get some extra leftovers. So we're going to go for a Thunder Punch for a third time, and then hopefully live a couple hits, and then we can take out this Scizor when it's down back to regular size. This turn, they actually go for the Max Steel Spike, which probably would have been a better move for the first turn, just because it raises your defense by 1, and then it could take more damages from my, just damage from my Charizard. But that Steel Spike is going to activate my Citrus Berry, so now I got no more healing left, so whatever I do off the Flare Blitz is going to damage me with no way of healing, so I'm going to have to utilize this Charizard really well with these last couple turns that I got left. So this is just going to go back to normal size, and I feel like now is the best time to go for a Flare Blitz, so we go for the Flare Blitz, it lands, we take out the Scizor in one shot, and they have one Pokemon remaining. My opponent's last Pokemon is going to be the Centiskorch, and I forgot to mention, the reason I didn't want to go for the Flare Blitz beyond just the recoil damage is because these Centiskorches sometimes have Flash Fire, and I didn't want to Flare Blitz right into a Flash Fire Centiskorch. With this Centiskorch, my best move is going to be the Dragon Claw, and we do end up outspeeding, and with the +4, we take out that Centiskorch in one shot, and Charizard completes the mini late game sweep, which is a great debut for the new guy. So that's going to be it. It was a great little match. It was really tough at the beginning with the swapping in and out for good matchups, but my opponent did a great job. They had a cool team with the all-bug team, so I really appreciate the match. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see if I can get some more battles posted for you soon. See you.